Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Lots of activities during the weekend in the world of sports. Talking about basketball, marathon, a lot of activities that Nigerians shone like millions start. But we just have to start from the women's side. Nigerian Dtigress, they have right now qualified for the World Cup. FIBA Women World Cup that will be coming up in Australia after winning 2 of their games out of 3. Good one for Nigerian Dtigress. They were able to defeat France by 2 points and also did against Mali by 4 points, 73 against 69, and they did so well. Nigerians are really smiling after losing their first game against China. It was as if what will not happen to that team, but they picked up the pieces and they were able to win for the second game against France, and also they did well against Mali. Good one for Nigerian Dtigress, celebrating them for what they've done, the prowess they show, and the fact that they were able to defeat France, who has defeated them twice. Good one for Nigerian Dtigress. Joining me in the studio is Amechi Agbo. Good to have you, Amechi.
Good morning, Adeni.
Yeah, it's good to be here now. Looking at our ladies, Nigerian Dtigress, for what they did, winning their 2 games out of 3. It was as if after the first game, a lot of people were like, this lady, would they be able to do it? They woke up from their slumber and they picked up the tickets. Yeah,
of course, their match against China, and then losing the match against China, everybody was afraid. And then playing France, ranked number 5th in the world, was a big hurdle for everyone. And to the glory of God, and then to the determination of the ladies, we emerged champion winners in that game. And then we came up against another rival, a foe we are used to. We played Ghana in Mali in the final of the FIBA African tournament last year, when we won the tournament. And then we played them again yesterday. And then that match was a must win for the 2 teams. Mali needed a win, Nigeria needed a win. To the glory of God, we had that win, and everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Talking about Nigeria and Dtigress for what he did over there in Serbia. Well, to let you know that right now we've qualified for the Women World Cup. FIBA, we just have to be there in Australia. And the good thing is that against all odds, our ladies did well. They made us proud. Nigerians are smiling. Well, when you look at Nigeria and Dtigress, you always see that determination that they are ready to show to the whole world that if when it comes to basketball, they always prove themselves.
Well, I've always said it that every sports spectra in this country, the problem we have at all around in sports, the problem we have is administration, leadership. If we can get it very right in the leadership sector, we will rule the world. If you look at basketball, it is not rosy for all of us in terms of leadership. There are 2 factions, there are 2 presidents. And then we have a team that have been lacking of motivation, a team that of recent complained of being owned, accumulated match bonuses and the rest of them. And then we went to these qualifiers, and it was even before these qualifiers, there were fear in the air that the girls may boycott the qualifier, because they said, if you remember last year, in the build-up to the election, they said, because you are owing us about hundreds of dollars match bonuses and everything, we are going to boycott the World Cup qualifiers. Then at the end of the day, they shielded these protests, and then they played these matches. And you saw what happened. They played their heart out. So if our leadership can get it right in terms of getting the administrative mechanism to positively to support these guys, I think the world will be our stage to explore. Now they have qualified for the 2nd time in a row. And then if you look at it, they've won the FIBA Africa back-to-back, 2017, 2019, and 2021. And then they have qualified for the World Cup for the first time twice, 2020 and then 2022. So it is commendable. And if you saw their celebrations yesterday, it was marvelous, telling you that these guys, they dreamed for this and they have achieved it. Congratulations to them. And I want to appeal to the President of the Federation, Muhammad Buhari, to do whatever is necessary to encourage these players. They won the Africa basketball in 2017. They won it in 2019. They won it in 2021. 2017, they were welcomed by the president and given a presidential handshake. 2019, nothing happened. 2021, nothing happened. But you could remember what happened when Nigeria, the Super Eagles were going for Nations Cup, and we saw their performances in that Nations Cup. They crashed out at the round of 16. But these ladies have been doing this nation proud, being our international global ambassadors, signposting our name in the global scene in sports, but they have not been given the necessary encouragement from the presidency down to everyone to tell them, look guys, we are proud of you, continue to do this for us. It is necessary at this point they have getting this qualification. At least let the president give them a call. It's not just about the Super Eagles. They should diversify this supportive mechanism so that all our sports men and women should have that sense of belonging.
Good one there coming from Amechi Agbo, who has been giving us details concerning Nigeria and Dtigress prowess at the World Cup that took place in Serbia. They won 2 out of 3 games, and right now they deserve to be celebrated. According to Amechi Agbo, the way we give so much attention to the Super Eagles, they are very important. They won the Nations Cup back-to-back 3 times. If we calculate how many times Nigeria and Super Eagles have won the Nations Cup, it's also 3 times. And these ladies have really made us proud. They went there, they qualify without giving so much trouble to Nigerians. We have to be calculating at times when we want to qualify for World Cup when it comes to men. But this time around, the ladies have really done well and they deserve to be appreciated. Well, we've been talking basketball. Let's see if our guest from Lagos, Queen Mosef, is on standby. If she can join us on virtual call so that we can talk to her while we wait for Queen Mosef. We quickly, let's look at the game that Nigerian Dtigress defeated Mali 73-69.
Promise over to Chidham, who gets to the baseline and into the lane, and she's fouled.
Well, Nigerian Dtigress, they're doing what they know how to do best. They did so well in this competition. In fact, a lot of Nigerians never believed they could. They could do this, and they did well there. Good one for Nigerian Dtigress. Now, Amechi Agbo, the lady, what they did was outstanding, so they need to be celebrated, according to you.
Obviously, because beating France is not a child's play. I recall when the Dtigress beat Argentina, I think before the Olympics, and how we celebrated it. And then the ladies repeated it yesterday, defeating France and then defeating Mali. It was just minor details that cost us the match against China being the superpower. But then we commend the ladies for doing this great job, and we hope that everything that will be an impediment towards the achieving a greater podium finishing in this tournament, I mean the World Cup coming later in the year, should be erased by now. And then the leadership quagmire bedeviling that federation also sorted out, and then we should be able to fly higher.
Good one there. We've been talking about Nigerian Dtigress. Hopefully, we can see get Queen Mosef joining us. But the ladies they've really. Now, you look at the World Cup preparation now, should start now. Because someone will say, okay, now we've qualified. Everything these ladies need to do well at the World Cup should be provided. If we are still owing them these outstanding salaries or whatever it is, let's settle them and then give them what they need. Play games, competition, and all that to keep them abreast of this World Cup.
Preparation for World Cup does not start after qualifying for the World Cup. You don't start preparation after qualifying. What happens if you do not qualify? So preparation starts before the qualification, so that if you don't prepare well for the qualifications, what are you going to work on to qualify? Because you are good as your preparation ahead of the qualifiers, as well as the World Cup prep when you qualify. So the point is, whatever preparations they have done prior to this getting this ticket, it is now for them to amplify it. If you did 70%, it is now for you to do 120%. To ensure that we get everything in order. And how are you going to do this? In the build-up to this, there were distractions. They threatened to boycott this qualifier. But at the end of the day, they shield whatever protest. Whether they were paid or not, I do not know. I do not have the facts with me before me. But the fact is, they were owed about 3-4 months ago. The ministry accepted the fact that their money were domiciled in the CBN. And then that the ladies were not paid because I say that they failed or refused to send in their account details or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, they have shielded whatever is in the past, and this is the present. We need to maximize this. The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports put up a press release yesterday congratulating them. It goes beyond that. It is now time for everybody to put the foot on the pedal and ensure that all necessary modalities, particularly motivation, particularly those entitlements, match bonuses, camp allowances. Please do not deny them these motivations. There is no other way we are going to motivate them other than this. I also need to appeal to all the corporate bodies that ambushed the Super Eagles at the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. You recall what happened while they were playing matches. They won against Egypt, Sudan, and the rest of them. And you see corporate bodies, CBN governor, going there to make pledges of tens of dollars to the players. It is not time for these people to also channel the support to these ladies. It is not just about football. It is high time we de-emphasize the fact that football is king of sports. No. Give attention, 50% attention to football, give 50% attention to basketball, and then flood that sports in the country. If you continue to channel all the support at the Super Eagles, Super Falcons, or football generally, what happens to others? And if you look at it, the funny thing is, it's not as if we have been doing exceptionally well in football. But if you look at basketball, if you look at athletics, if you look at weightlifting, all these events, we have been having podium finish in and out in competitions. So it is high time we channel this and then motivate these guys and see what happens at the World Cup.
Just to let you know that everyone is important. All sports are very important. Basketball, volleyball, handball, and also football. We should not take others for granted. The Nigeria Dtigress, they've done well qualifying for the World Cup, winning 2 matches out of 3, and now we hope that they'll be giving their attention. We don't want to be hearing news that there is no allowance, there is no money on ground to take them to where they need to go and play competition ahead of the World Cup. Things must just be done right in Nigeria. All sports are important. Now we move away from basketball. We've been looking at the ladies, what they did, their prowess over there in Serbia. Now let's come home and talk about 39th edition of the Ramat Cup. It's taking place in Kano. Well, different, about 36 states right now are in Kano with their under-16 football team, the boys. And to let you know that, also including the FCT, well, the Secretary of Youth Sport Federation of Nigeria that organized this competition spoke to us concerning how they screen players for them to know how, okay, this particular player is under 60 or not. Let's listen to what Patrick Opavwe said.
It is the same thing. We maintain the same the same rules every year. We do the right thing. That is, first of all, we look at the facial appearance. We look at we go with height, weight, and the facial appearance as the supersede all other criteria during screening exercise. Age bracket, where in doubt, we might ask the player in question to bring birth certificate. Plus other questions we ask. The school is a class and so forth. Because you know these days the children start school sometime. Maybe from 3 years they will start school. But by the time we ask all those questions, be able to know the exact age, if not the exact age, but close to the age of the players in question. You can see 2 groups now. Maybe one side is over age group, the other side is those are screened in that are eligible to take part in the tournament. After this first round of screening, I think the committee concerned, that's technical crew, we still go around again and they look at those people screen out to know if there's anyone they can bring in again. Because you know the technical crew, they are human beings, you see, so the mistake can still come in at any time. So they will cross-check again to know if there's any other player and they know that is eligible to take part in this tournament.
Good one there, coming from Practical Havwe, the Secretary of Youth Sport Federation of Nigeria, where the 39th edition of Youth Sport is taking place in Kano. It's tagged Ramat Cup. It's been 39 years, and that event has been at least been sustained. A good one for Youth Sport there. Looking at what he said, how they pick players, how they screen them, the under-16 for the under-16 football competition taking place in Kano.
I hope that field they are doing the screening is not where they're going to play that much, the tournament, because I didn't like what I saw there. But the method of screening we are adopting in age grade competition marvels me. You are using physical appearance of an individual to gauge his age in a competition. How are you going to get it accurate? But the issue is, at the end of the day, we end up getting those who are older than the competition to play, and those who are younger in that below that age excluded because you can't get it perfect.
Okay, we have to hold you there. Let's quickly connect with Queen Mosef in Lagos. Queen Mosef, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Let's talk about the Nigerian Dtigress. We're waiting for you. Maybe you were still celebrating the ladies.
Well, I have to. I'm a Nigerian.
So for the ladies to have qualified for the World Cup.
I didn't get your question.
You feel now the ladies, they've done it, they've qualified for the World Cup. I'm sure you're happy.
Definitely, I'm happy because nobody gave them a chance going to Belgrade, and looking at how they prepared, the preparation was really, really slow and not too good going to Belgrade. Remember, they came to campaign a few months ago about their unpaid allowances and all that, and they gave a threat that they were not going to play the FIBA World Cup qualifiers this month. But we didn't even hear anything up until a few days before then, before we knew that our girls were going to play in that qualifiers. I was almost losing hope on it. Preparation was quite poor, but going to China against that game against China, look at the game, it was a poor start for us, and we had to pick up really late. And before we knew it, at the end of the day, we lost by 14 points. So at the end of the day, a team that were not given a chance, they were being owed, poor motivation, went out there, did the business, gave an historic win against France, and also wrapped it up against Mali. So there is no better way to be elated about how they've performed at the qualifiers.
Now that I know you've been following the ladies and also Nigerian basketball, you've been the media officer Rivers Upas. Now, these ladies, after playing against China and they lost that game, a lot of people were almost started feeling, okay, maybe this is going to be another one that Nigeria will just go there and be a bandwagon. But they picked up the pieces after China defeat, and they were able to win against France. That match against France was really the eye-opener for the qualifiers.
For me anyway, or for fans or journalists who have been following the girls or following the Dtigress, you would know that when it comes to the African continent, we're a strong force. We've been dominating Africa since 2017, winning the three-peat. And even before then, we won it back-to-back in 2003, 2005. So look at the number of titles we've won. That's like 5 now. So for the last 5 years, we've dominated Africa. So in terms of Africa, we are a force. So I was not worried about beating Mali because I knew that this is a team we can actually beat on any day. And this is like the same team we defeated at the AfroBasket in September when we completed that three-peat. So but I knew that they were going to come all out to come and make sure they send us away to go to the World Cup. But on the African scene, I had no worries at all. So, but with the preparation, how poor it was, I felt maybe they might give the advantage to Mali. But little did I know that even that the game against France was even what they were going to prove to the whole world, that they're not just going to beat Mali, they're just going to make a historic record and go all the way to the World Cup. Remember in 2018 World Cup, they set a record as the first African team that finished in the quarterfinal. So getting here again is an opportunity to also set another record. So but I didn't look beyond Mali because I felt that one was there for the taking. My worries was just how they prepared. But winning against France, I think it was a wake-up call to Nigerians that these girls are not here to play. These girls are here to prove a point that we might not be well motivated. We might not have prepared well, but we've done well and we are here. And we are not going to go out of Serbia without a record and also 2 wins, which they've done. But I also need to give it up to the girls, apart from that game against France. The French national team were nothing to write them about. They were not the team that I saw at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Recently we've met the France national team like twice in the last 4 years. In the 2018, the classification game, and also in Tokyo last year. and it's always like 84 to 60 something points or 70 something points. Really not so plenty margin, but it's something that we could close up. But that French national team that we saw in Belgrade, and nothing to write them about. They are unimpressive. They changed their coach. Some of the players that played in Tokyo didn't come. So I think that also gave the girls advantage that we can go all out. They played against Mali and they won Mali by just 10 points in their first game. So that game was there for the taking. So I just knew the girls were going to do something that will make us proud.
There from Queen Mosef. We've been talking with you and also Amechi Agbo in the studio. Now, a lady, Victoria Macaulay, was voted among the MVP of this tournament. How do you feel about this?
Well, Vicky Macaulay has always been one of the strong force when it comes to the center players or forward line. She's always that go-to girl. I look at the team in our first game. We just had one natural point guard, and that was Promise Amokamara. We didn't have Ezine Carlo because she got injured and went through surgery, and she's still recuperating. So that was also one of my worries because just having just one point natural point guard is really an issue because you will not be able to play through the point guard position. So we're now down to Coach Otis switching up things. Some of our forwards had to go to the shooting guard position, also point guard position. When Promise had to rest, then we had the likes of Adora Ilodo, the captain of the side, or even Nicole Enabusi, who had to go there, or even Ingifa, who had to play the point guard position at some point. So, but apart from that, apart from having Ezine Kalu out, which is like our engine room, we needed somebody from that power forward role or that center role to deliver. And we didn't also have Ife Ibekwe. She was just injured. So Vicky Macaulay had to step up. I was not surprised how she performed. She has always been a wonderful player since when she joined the national team in 2019, when she played at the AfroBasket in 2019 in Senegal. I just knew that this girl, she was going to deliver. She's a player to watch, a player for the future. So I wasn't surprised at how she performed. She had to put it upon herself, carry the burden of the team, and make sure to deliver in that game against France.
Good one there. Queen Mosef, really appreciate your in-depth analysis of basketball. You've been doing well there. I really appreciate it. Once again, at least thank you for appearing on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, that's Queen Mosef just buttressing on what, or adding more to what you said, although from our own human angle now, she added some spice to it. Well, before we go quickly, we've been talking about the ladies, we talked about the Ramat Cup too. Before we go, just 1 minute, how you feel about this Ramat Cup?
Well, I was trying to say that the method of screening is a concern to me because you are not going to get the accurate figure or accurate date or individual meant for that particular age for this tournament. It's just for us to appeal to our consciences to the fact that competition, you are not going to underage competition to win. You are going there to discover talent. You can. I saw in Africa, what they call it, youth games that a child of 11 years was there and competed against people of 15 years. So, and she was bringing up, she was getting that experience and coming up. So the essence of this tournament is to bring the stars that will be able to dominate our sports in the near future. Good
one there. Our time is really running so fast. We just have to go now. Amechi Agbo and Queen Mosef has joined us from Lagos. Good to have you, Amechi.
It's always a pleasure. And happy birthday to you.
Oh, well, thank you very much, at least. Thank you. Well, that's it on Sport, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.